Is it time for back to school for here in the country despite the pandemic still on? Punjab government on Saturday announced the reopening of schools for classes in the state from 2nd of August. Schools have been instructed, however, to follow proper protocol to ensure COVID-19 appropriate behavior. Teachers, only those fully vaccinated, will be permitted to physically take classes. State government has allowed the reopening of schools for 10th to 12th classes from 26th of July. Uttarakhand also has denied to reopen schools, to reopen schools for 9th to 12th classes tomorrow. Meanwhile, after reopening of schools in Fatehabad in Haryana, 6 students tested positive. However, they were asymptomatic and isolated. As per part of protocols, a mask will have to be worn, sanitizers used, practicing social distancing will be part of the safety measures.
हमको डर भी रहेगा कि फिर हम एक दूसरे को हाथ भी नहीं लगाएंगे, कहेंगे कि दूर रहो, तो ऐसे होते होते फिर तो पता नहीं अब स्कूल में क्या होगा। वैक्सीनेशन जब तक नहीं लगाएंगे तब तक इनको नहीं खोलने चाहिए।
एक तो उन्होंने हमें वैक्सीनेशन तो दी नहीं है, कोई रिगार्डिंग वैक्सीनेशन से कुछ हुआ नहीं है हमारा, तो उनको करना तो चाहिए कुछ ना कुछ इसके साथ। तो या तो अगर वैक्सीनेशन अच्छा किया हो तो बच्चे भी जाना भी शुरू करें, नहीं तो जैसे अगर देखा जाए ना स्कूल में आज तक बच्चे बहुत थोड़े आ रहे हैं, ये भी नहीं कि बहुत बच्चे आते हैं।
एक तरफ से ठीक ही है, सरकार को स्कूल खोलने चाहिए क्योंकि बच्चे घर पे बैठ के उतना नहीं सीख पाते जितना स्कूल में जाके सीखते हैं। बच्चों के साथ खेलते हैं तो ज़्यादा अच्छा बेटर सीखते हैं, तो बच्चे ज़्यादातर यहीं पे घर पे रह के बोर हो जाते हैं। स्कूल में जाके उनकी ग्रोथ होती है, डेवलपमेंट तो वहीं पे जाके होगी।
मैं 80% तो विलिंग नहीं हूँ अपने बच्चों को स्कूल भेजने के लिए। मानती हूँ कि फिजिकली और मेंटली अगर बच्चे देखें तो बहुत वीक हो गए हैं, उनकी ग्रोथ नहीं है। कहें कि सब रूम सैनिटाइज हो जाएंगे बच्चों को, ये प्रिकॉशंस नहीं हो सकती क्योंकि बच्चा एक दूसरे के साथ कॉपी, नोटबुक, हर चीज शेयर करेगा, इवन टीचर्स के साथ, फ्रेंड्स के साथ।
So Punjab has decided to reopen schools. Other states may also follow. Is it safe? What are the experts saying? What are the parents saying? And importantly, are the students ready to head back to their schools? We have a special report on this. Take a look.
Spiking in Kerala. Stubborn in Maharashtra. Under control in the north, relatively for now. As the pandemic blows hot and cold across the country, several states have either reopened or are in the process of reopening their schools. Advocates of in-person learning support the move.
आज के दिन हम देखें तो पूरा समाज खुल गया। भीड़ इकट्ठी हो रही है मॉल्स में, मार्केट्स में भीड़ इकट्ठी हो रही है, बट स्कूल्स को हमने प्रायोरिटी बिल्कुल भी नहीं दी। कोविड का मामला लंबा खिंचता जा रहा है। एक बच्चा स्कूल क्यों जाता है? हम चाहते हैं उसकी ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट हो, उसकी फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट हो।
Some health experts are skeptical though. When the pandemic struck in March last year, as many as 15 lakh schools shut down across India's 28 states and 8 union territories.
The debate over whether or not children should come back to schools is a divisive one. But now there is data to show that children are at a lower risk of contracting COVID-19 and much lesser risk at developing any serious complications because of the virus.
Experts in the United States found children represented 14.2% of all COVID cases across America. And child fatality from the new coronavirus stood up to 0.26% of all COVID-19 deaths in that country. A UNICEF report suggests 13.4% of global cases are amongst the under 19 age bracket, of which only 0.3% cases resulted in deaths. Some experts advise schools to be reopened in areas only where the outbreak is under control.
1.5 साल से हमने बच्चों को बिठा ही रखा है। जब मौका मिला तब तो आप भेजना शुरू करिए, तब की तब देखेंगे कि थर्ड वेव आती है तो कितनी सीवियर है। ऐसा कोई वैज्ञानिक तथ्य नहीं है जो कि ये बताता है कि तीसरी लहर बच्चों में ही असर करेगी। ये एक अवैज्ञानिक स्टेटमेंट है।
Reopening of the schools when the pandemic still rages on in parts of India is beset with a tough choice. A choice between the best and the safest way to educate children. With Milan Sharma in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
So is it time finally to reopen schools in India? Our consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai spoke with Professor Devi Sridhar from University of Edinburgh on this. Listen in.
Do we open up schools for those below the age of 12? At what stage do you do so? How safe are our children, even if their parents are not vaccinated, if they are not vaccinated? Would you advise that schools be reopened in a country like India, given our vaccination levels at the moment?
I think schools should definitely be open. We know the harms of keeping schools closed is massive, and UNICEF has called this a global educational emergency, and many of these children may never go back to school or have educational loss for their lifetimes. The question is not whether to have schools open or close, it's when they're open, how do you actually try to maintain safe environments, meaning ensuring there's regular testing, that all teachers are vaccinated, that when needed there's masks being worn, that outside learning, ventilation. These are the lessons we've learned, that actually we can keep schools open, but the way to keep them open is just having in place these kind of mitigation measures that make it safer for children and for the teachers.
The southern state of Kerala is showing a COVID spike in India. The state recorded over 20,000 daily cases for 5th straight day, now raising alarm bells with the country literally bracing for a third wave. Now, Kerala's positivity rate has been hovering near 12 to 13%. It is falling in the centre's list, and clearly that as a cause of concern. Now, the state government in Kerala, led by Pinarayi Vijayan, has ordered a weekend lockdown that continues from earlier weekend lockdowns as well. Government has issued a fresh order stating micro-containment zones need to be set up in places where there are cluster of cases. Neighbouring Karnataka, meanwhile, has made the RT-PCR test mandatory for those coming in from Maharashtra and Kerala, the two states reporting a high number. Government at the centre has issued guidelines to Kerala and 9 other states, imposing strict restrictions in all districts with over 10% positivity rate. To prevent crowding in these areas, centre has advised states to ramp up COVID testing and vaccination.
State government issued an order to focus more on the micro-containment area in addition to the ABCD category. So we will do in the upcoming weeks, and surely we have the optimism that we can reduce the caseload as well as TPR in the coming weeks.
We are doing like 15,000 tests, that is 200% tests. Based on our target, we are doing that. They said you should continue with it and also follow up those people who are having non-communicable disease, whether they are developing. And for every day's cases, you do a 14-day follow-up and see to that how many percentage is being shifted to becoming severe and being shifted to the hospitals.
Now to Kerala's Health Minister Veena George over why the state is possibly facing this rise. She spoke to Rajdeep Sardesai. Listen into this.
I am not disagreeing with the achievements of Kerala. I am not trying to minimize your achievements, but the fact is I asked you about letting your guard down, especially during Bakri Eid. The relaxations for which even the Supreme Court has pulled up the Kerala government warned that you should not have done it. Do you believe in hindsight that some of those were mistakes like Bakri Eid relaxations, that some of those districts now where numbers have gone up like Malappuram is a worry? Could that be because of relaxation and allowing this overcrowding during these 3 days? Are you under various pressures? Merchants and traders want you to open up, religious groups want you to open up, and the Kerala government is in a bit of a bind.
Sir, during those days also we had TPR was around 10, 11, 12 like that. And here we have a coordinated effort, all the coordinated activities of all the departments, the police department, the LSGD, the health, and also the people are cooperating very much to control the disease. And I'm so sorry to say that it's quite unfortunate that there is a campaign against the state saying that the system has failed and all. But when you see the virologists, the experts, when they say that Kerala is a system in Kerala is very good still now. Why? Because the density of population in Kerala is very high, and it is double the national average. So here we have more than 860 people in 1 square kilometer.
Breaking news now coming in from Kerala that on the COVID rise issue, decisions on Onam relaxations to be taken collectively, says Kerala's Health Minister. Health Minister Veena George has said that the decisions regarding the relaxations for Onam festival will be taken collectively. She has said that the decisions in this regard will be taken by an expert committee led by the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan after assessing the situation. So that's the big news coming in. Remember, the criticism against Kerala government is giving relaxations for the Eid festival, and now it appears not taking any chances for the upcoming Onam festival. They are trying to now set up an expert committee that will collectively decide if and how much relaxations must be given to people for shopping and festival. Uttar Pradesh is one of the most important states for national politics, and its elections are scheduled in 2022. And with that, it appears that BJP has sounded the poll bugle. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is in Lucknow, laid the foundation stone of Institute of Forensic Sciences, planted a sapling to mark the occasion. Later, Home Minister Amit Shah shared the stage with Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, also addressed a gathering. In the evening, Union Home Minister Amit Shah is expected to lay the foundation stone in Mirzapur, which will be of the Vindhya Vasini corridor project. After that, he's expected to offer prayers at the Kashi Vishwanath temple there in Uttar Pradesh. Amit Shah's visit, remember, comes at a time when the Saffron Party will want to maximize its preparation for the Maha War that is coming up for Uttar Pradesh. India Today has accessed the blueprint, and it appears that the BJP wants to now improve its 2017 achievement for 2022. The Bharatiya Janata Party has zeroed in on 80 assembly seats that have never been won by the BJP in Uttar Pradesh. They could include Rai Bareli, Akbarpur, Etawah, will be on the radar of the BJP for upcoming assembly elections.
यूपी में जिनको सरकार बनाने के सपना आ रहे हैं, उनके कान तक ये आवाज जानी चाहिए। मेरे साथ जोर से बोलिए, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। और जो सपना देख रहे हैं उनको मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि भैया फिर से एक बार करारी हार का मन बना लो। यहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी की प्रचंड बहुमत से सरकार बनने है। मित्रों, उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर योगी जी के नेतृत्व में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने जो परिवर्तन लाया है, मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि गत चुनाव की तरह ही इतने प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ फिर से यहां कमल की सरकार बनने जा रही है।
But in the Bharatiya Janata Party, there was a cryptic message that came from Bharatiya Janata Party Member of Parliament Babul Supriyo. He offered and has announced his resignation. He's also met Party President JP Nadda last night. He asked Supriyo to reconsider his decision of leaving politics that he announced via social media. He has been given a day's time to rethink his decision to leave the BJP. JP Nadda will also likely be meeting the two-time Member of Parliament of the BJP once again tomorrow, that's Monday, after the Parliament proceedings are over. Earlier on Saturday, remember, Babul Supriyo even edited out a portion from his resignation post on social media, where he had then mentioned that he will not be joining any other political party. That immediately led and triggered speculations that he may actually jump the ship after leaving the BJP. However, he's given a clarification now in a new post on social media on Facebook, saying some portion was removed due to some reason, but he's reiterated he's not joining any party. He even slammed Bengal's BJP chief Dilip Ghosh and TMC's Kunal Ghosh for their comments over the decision. He has said, and I quote here, "Some people are using language as per their choice. I accept it all, but I can respond with only my work. Why do I have to be at the post of a member of parliament or a minister?" Unquote, referring that social work can be done without being a politician. No security clearance will be given to the stone pelters. That's the big breaking news coming in. The CID Kashmir has issued a circular stating that all those involved in stone pelting and subversive activities will not be given a security clearance for the purpose of passport and verification required for government services. The circular says that during the verification related to the passport and other verification related to government services, the subject's involvement in law and order issues, especially stone pelting cases and other crimes, have to be specifically looked into. Sunil Ji Bhatt reporting about that from Jammu. Sunil, this could be a very big issue because there have been many stone pelters, and we saw how in the PDP regime many were given a second chance as well. So are you telling us that this time, via the security agencies, any such action will not be permitted anymore, to be given a clearance even for passport? That's big.
Absolutely, Pooja. This is part of India's, war against terror. Earlier, we had seen that stone pelters were treated with kid gloves. They were given amnesty, but now the government has decided that it will show zero tolerance to anti-India activities, and that is why now a circular has been issued by the CID wing of J&K police in the Kashmir Valley, which clearly says that those people who have been involved in stone pelting incidents as well as in other subversive activities will not be given security clearance for the purpose of passport or the government service. Because Pooja, whenever somebody is selected for a government job, there is CID verification that is done, and if in that verification somebody is found to be involved in anti-India activity, he or she will not be provided that government job. So this is big. And in the recent past, we have also seen that there has been a major cleanup exercise in the J&K administration. Those government employees who have been found, aiding terrorism, who have been found having links to terrorism, have been sacked, which include two sons of the Hizbul commander, Sayyid Salahuddin. So government is now cracking down on terror and the sympathizers of terrorism. So it's a big move by the
big step there, and could that at any level bring down some of those stone pelting and violent incidents? Thank you so much, Sunil Ji Bhatt, for all the latest on that story. Intelligence inputs have revealed in Jammu and Kashmir that the Independence Day event, which is scheduled at the Maulana Azad Stadium in Jammu, could just be on the radar of the suspected Lashkar terrorists, and they may even strike using drones, which means the drone threat continues for J&K. The attack can be similar to the attack on Air Force Air Base on 27 June using impact IED. So amid this threat of drones, one more suspected drone was spotted by local residents in Domana area of Jammu last evening. This suspected drone disappeared just after 3 minutes. A local youth, a young man, made a video, managed it from his mobile phone, of the suspected drone with blinking light. Total 3 drone activities have been witnessed last evening. First 2 drone activities were witnessed in the Samba district between 8 and 9 p.m. Then a third drone activity was seen at around 9:50 p.m. in Domana area in Jammu. A 10-month-old baby boy living in Bihar is suffering from a rare genetic disease called the spinal muscular atrophy. The doctors have said that there is a lifesaver injection for him, but that costs a whopping 16 crore rupees. And only that can perhaps likely save his life. His parents have now appealed to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar to help his family in dire times. These are some of the cases that have come in. Take a look at this story.
Ten-month-old Ayash Kumar Singh needs your help. He is suffering from a rare, life-threatening disease called spinal muscular atrophy type 1 disease.
दिन पर दिन इसको समस्या बढ़ते जा रहा है। खाना खाने वाला जो है सिस्टम वो भी कमज़ोर पड़ते जा रहा है। सांस लेने वाला जो है रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम वो भी इसका कमज़ोर पड़ते जा रहा है।
It is severely impacting his growth and his ability to lead a normal life, and it is only getting worse. For his parents, Ayansh's condition came as a huge shock.
हम लोग तो इसके साथ रह रहे हैं 24 घंटा। हम लोग तो रात भर सोते भी नहीं है सही से, हम लोग चिंता लगा रहता है।
Ayansh needs specialized treatment and urgently. An injection that has to be imported from the United States and costs 16 crore rupees is the only ray of hope for Ayansh. It is a lifesaver injection, but its cost is proving to be a big challenge for his parents.
सर डे बाय डे ये बढ़ता ही चला जाएगा सर, इसमें कहीं से कोई इम्प्रूवमेंट की नज़र नहीं आ रहा सर। और डॉक्टर ने हमें बोला है कि आपको फूड पाइप के थ्रू ही खिलाना है, अदरवाइज़ अगर खाना इसके चेस्ट में चला जाएगा तो फिर हम लोग कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे।
Ayansh's parents have started a crowdfunding program to collect money for his treatment.
क्राउड फंडिंग के थ्रू सर हम देख रहे हैं कि जो हमारे बिहार के लोग हैं वो बढ़ चढ़ कर हिस्सा ले रहे हैं। सिर्फ मैं बिहार को ही नहीं कहना चाहती हूँ, मैं पूरे भारत देश को बोलना चाहती हूँ कि जहाँ जहाँ भी लोग बैठे हैं सर वो लोग बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प कर रहे हैं।
They are appealing to everyone to contribute for Ayansh's treatment, including the Bihar Chief Minister.
फिर हमारे जो सीएम हैं नीतीश कुमार जी, मैं उनसे भी हाथ जोड़कर निवेदन करती हूँ कि सर ये हमारे राज्य का बच्चा है, बिहार का बच्चा है, उनसे प्लीज़ सर प्लीज़ हमारी मदद करें।
Every contribution counts for saving Ayansh's life. Rohit Kumar Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Here's hoping that